Good morning. Happy Friday. I say that with enthusiasm today because I actually have the weekends off. So my work week used to include work weekends, and now it doesn't. So Fridays are really Fridays for me. So yesterday I talked about expectations, and specifically expectations that we have of ourselves and accomplishing what we need to accomplish, and unmet expectations in that essence. And today I wanted to hop on real quick to talk about expectations of other people. So sometimes we have certain, I want to say standards, but we have certain things that we feel are important to us, and sometimes we feel that they should be important to other people as well. And so we expect certain behaviors because we think that that's like common sense. And there is a saying, common sense isn't that common, but it's not just that. It's also what our belief systems aren't necessarily what other people's are. For instance, I am very punctual. If I am not early, then I'm late. And I get very anxious when I'm running late, and I'm working on that. I mean, that's not necessarily a good thing. Sometimes it's a flaw of mine, a character defect, and I'm working on that. But when other people are late, I also get that anxiety, so I have to deal with that. And when someone tells me they're going to be there at a certain time, my expectation is that they'll be there, if not earlier, at least promptly at that time. So that's just an example. I'm also, I also prioritize my people, activities. I have a lot going on. Like most of us, we have very busy, active lives, and so I need to prioritize which ones are the most important to me, and sometimes that changes within the day. And I think I've talked about this on a previous video. Let's say I have an exam coming up. My priority is to study for that exam, and I might have to put off going grocery shopping or doing laundry or hanging out with friends, for that particular time. And there may be times where I haven't seen people, my family members or close friends, in a long time, and I'm missing that connection. That has to be the priority, and maybe my homework needs to be put off or what have you. So those are just some examples. And so sometimes when we have expectations on other people, and I'm not just saying don't have expectations or don't have beliefs or standards because people aren't going to meet them anyway. It's not just that. It's not that black and white. So I find that if I have an expectation on someone, and I'm talking about someone I care about, it's different than having an expectation of a coworker. It's not going to be the same expectations and what have you. But if I'm having an expectation on a loved one and they're not meeting that expectation, there's a couple of things I need to look at. First of all, I need to look at, is my expectation realistic? In other words, am I expecting, too much, or something that they can't, do or handle, even if it's not at that particular time? And sometimes you say to yourself, that expectation is realistic. Like, this behavior should be doable for this person, and and it's important to me enough where I'm caring, but I also care for this person. So it's up to me to express that to the other person. the other person may be oblivious, and probably is, especially if it's a loved one, that they're, not meeting an expectation of yours, or maybe hurting your feelings, or making you feel not like a priority. And it's up to me, it's my responsibility to let the person know how I'm feeling. Now, that's not saying the person's going to change or see your expectation as validated, or maybe not validated isn't the proper word, but isn't their top priority or isn't their belief system. So that may be, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's important for me to express how I'm feeling if I feel that this expectation is reasonable and I'm feeling a certain way. And not in a passive-aggressive way. I know, and a lot of times we get upset, we get butthurt. I heard that phrase the other day. I kind of like it. And then so we kind of like either get even, or we ignore that person, or we put passive-aggressive posts on Facebook instead of actually talking to the person and dealing with the situation and expressing how you feel. Some people say it's playing games. If you're not telling someone how you feel, and you're ignoring them, or you're trying to get revenge on them, it's what some people refer to as playing games. But it's also it's difficult. It's difficult to go ahead. It's difficult to do that, to be vulnerable and say to someone how you're feeling, not knowing how they're going to react. They may get defensive. They may feel you're expecting too much, and you're being unrealistic. So, it's really vulnerable. And, a lot of us, we don't like confrontations because we want to keep the waters calm. We don't want any waves. And the problem with that is it keeps us sick. It keeps us stuck. It builds resentments. It makes for unhealthy relationships if we're not communicating how we're feeling and we're expressing that to our loved one. We can communicate in a loving way and not an accusatory way. I don't have to come at someone and saying, you should be doing this, and you make me feel like this, and that's probably not the best approach. You just explain to the person that, this is how I'm feeling, and when they do this certain behavior, this is how I feel, or this is how I interpret it. How can we better this? How can we work this out? And the other person may say, I had no idea. I'll try to be more mindful, or whatever. So as difficult as it is, it's important to have those conversations, particularly with people we love. And I've had to have these conversations even with coworkers. If there's something that's really bothering me and I feel like I'm, what have you, I have to approach them. And the thing of it is that it's not so much getting a result from them or getting it resolved from them. I mean, you're hoping that will happen, but the thing of it is that you're clearing your side of the street. And as a woman in recovery, I have learned that I need to keep my side of the street clean. I cannot leave emotional baggage. I cannot have resentments lingering for any length of time. It puts me in a very dangerous place. And what I mean by dangerous is it may set me up to want to use in order to numb those feelings, because if you don't clean your side of the street periodically, it accumulates and it gets overwhelming, and then that's when you want to just shut everything off. You can either go to bed for a week or get high for a week, or what have you. So it's really important, I think for anyone in general, but particularly for people in recovery, to make sure that they do an emotional inventory. Check where they're at, and are they communicating with other people? Are they holding resentments? Are they hanging on to unrealistic expectations? I hope this has helped you today. If you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button, like me. If you have any comments, please comment suggestions, criticisms, that's okay. I can take it. Leave it in the comment box. You can check me out on Recovery Enthusiast at both Facebook and Instagram under Recovery Enthusiast. And I got a podcast on Anchor and a blog as well under Motivations for You. They're both under that title. It's Motivations with an S, the number 4, the letter U.com. Or the podcast is just Motivations for You, the .com. And if you can't get enough of me, you want some more content, some more education, or learning some more skills, you can check out my online courses on my website, recoveryenthusiast.com. As always, guys, stay well, stay blessed. Let the people that you love know that you love them, that you care about them. Hug them, send them a text, send them a shout out regularly. And live your life enthusiastically. There's no other way to live. I know for me, I didn't get clean and sober to not having an amazing life, to be miserable. So I try to live each day enthusiastically. I hope you do the same. And until next time, guys, peace.